Hello folks and welcome back to Medieval Total War. I am Constip and this is going to be part 5 of my early campaign where I'm playing as England. And as always, I am pretty excited to get back into this campaign. I'm sitting here with a, believe it or not, I actually do have some tea with me. I'm drinking some tea, playing some England. Although the tea it's called Irish breakfast, so if you're looking for an omen, well, no, I'm not going to be taking Ireland in this episode. So it doesn't mean anything. I'm just drinking it. I just like it. I just happen to have it on hand. And for this episode, though, I'm broke. And yeah, for those of you who are following along, obviously I'm broke because I hired up a bunch of mercenaries to basically, it was kind of like a panic purchase. I didn't know if the French were going to attack me to maybe take back something to strike back at me right before the GA points were counted. So I wanted to make sure I had enough manpower to make sure that I wasn't attacked. Just as a reminder, partially like the main reason why I'm being more careful about trying to dissuade the other factions from attacking me in the first place is just because I don't want that Catholic on Catholic warfare going on, because I don't want to have to deal with the Pope, and I don't want to, become excommunicated. I don't want to have to not be able to launch crusades when the time comes. So in certain times, like, the turn before a GA counting period, I might, things like that might happen in this campaign where I might think, oh no, I need some men quickly to make sure that no one attacks me. I do tend to think that the AI will, try to get a cheeky little attack in before that counting period if it sees an opportunity. And yeah, so I'm kind of paying for it. I'm really making, at least I am making some money. I'm not in the negative. I am making 437, so huzzah for minor victories on that front. But since I went ahead and bought those mercenaries, I decided to make some, put them to work. So after that counting period, I did take Brittany, so that feels good. And now they're on their way to take Scotland soon. Well, 4 turns from now. 1, 2, 3, 4. That means making very little money for the next few turns. Yeah, making 437 per turn. So yeah, I can build another border fort here in Brittany. It costs 200 florins, so at least I can afford it. And then after that, I would like to build a fort. I have these peasants in here. Each of these peasants were from other... They were from other settlements. I think... Oops, no, I didn't mean to do that. Yeah, you can come over... Well, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, you can just hang out, I suppose. You can hang out here, and do I want to... What's the tag? Loyalty's at 133, so maybe I can bring a peasant back to Aquitaine. I'm still over 100%, so that is fine. And every bit of numbers counts. The AI, I do believe it does, look at the flags just like we do. They look at the banners and look at the sizes. And if you can't see the composition itself, you might think, hey, that's 100 men. I don't know what that is. Is that spearmen or what? But, that is... It's still bodies, so having bodies on the borders is going to be important. So next turn, hopefully I can start building a castle or fort here in Brittany just to get some more construction capabilities at some point. But for now, yeah, for the next few turns, it's going to be pretty rough when it comes to being able to build or train anything. Now, I did get another heir come of age in the last episode. I think it's Prince Edmund here. Yeah, he's 16. And I was thinking about this before I started recording, because what is his role going to be? I don't really... I could technically bring him down to Anjou to replace his older brother, Prince William, who is going to be the next in line, actually. Overall, like, good loyalty, his command could be higher. And yes, Prince Edmund does have higher command. But Prince William does have the natural leader, so +2 morale, and honorable warrior, +1 morale. So that's it. That +3 morale is good. So, I'm okay with leaving Prince William in command of an army. If he gets a fight in, maybe he will gain more command stars. Yeah, that's great. But then what about Prince Edmund? What does he do then? Well, you know what? Aquitaine could probably use a unit of heavy cavalry. They're the only army that doesn't have one. In fact, they're my only army that doesn't have any infantry either. So what I was doing, am I still doing this? If I can afford to, I probably should go back to training up urban militia in Anjou so that I can send them down to Aquitaine so that they can at least have some infantry. Because right now I've just been running with basically my army camp right now that I'm aiming for is 3 archers, 3 hoplars, and 3 urban militia in every single province. I'm just about there, and well, I think I am there with Anjou and Normandy. Flanders has a little extra spice because it does have the longbowmen and the spearmen that were bought from Wales. And then Northumbria does have a little bit of spice as well. They got that feared men. And they were preparing to attack Scotland before I hired those mercenaries. And yes, also Sir Odo Borlong is ready to head that attack into Scotland. Although I suppose it's going to be the mercenary general. No, it's not. He sucks. That's right. Yeah. Robert de Vendôme. Pride. -2 command. Ooh. But I think he's a good fighter, right? Like that makes him... Yeah, +3 valor. Okay. So send my skirmish cav into combat. Wonderful. Got it. And anyway, as I was saying though, Prince Edmund, yeah, let's just send him down to Aquitaine. Why not? Like, he's heavy cav. Heavy cav is good. Even though it is only a 20-man unit, I will take it. And that will leave Sir Tancred de Normandy still in command of this army because he does have more command stars. Weak principles though, so that's not ideal. I wonder what happens. So I know that the heirs, including the king, of course, cannot be bribed. But what happens when they're not in command of the stack? If they're in the stack but not in command of it, can that stack get bribed? I don't know. I don't think I've ever had an army of mine bribed, but I have seen other armies bribed. Other AI factions being bribed by AI factions. So, yeah, I don't know. But I mean, it's going to be like this is a decent sized army. It would be very expensive to bribe this. So I would be very doubtful that that's going to happen. Anywho, yeah, I just basically just need to get my guys up to Scotland, take Scotland, then I can disband these expensive mercenaries and then start building stuff and training stuff again. Yeah, I don't know if I would have done, I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't want to kick myself too much for hiring those mercenaries, but not being able to train or build stuff for, you know, a handful of turns is pretty tough at this stage of the campaign. Kind of brutal, but let's just get through it. Now my ruler's wife has given birth to a son. Is that his? That might be his number 6. Yeah, that's a lot. Prince William, that's it. Hey, this is good. Prince William. So again, this is my next in line. Chivalrous. Chivalry and honor are meat and drink to this man. He is incapable of taking advantage of an enemy in a fair fight. +2 morale, -2 dread. So I'm pretty sure that this is going to be the next trait that was in that line of honorable warrior. So I don't think this is going to be +2 in addition to that +1 that we just had. I'm pretty sure this is just +2 now. So you just gained 1 morale and then an additional -1 dread. So yeah, you know, like once he becomes king, not having dread, it means that, you know, my provinces aren't going to be getting that that public order boost from the king, which is it's a small percentage, you know, from to each province from these stats, but it's okay. We have the buildings, we have the border forts and the watchtowers and all that, so we will be okay with their public order. And of course, we're at max taxes, so if we have to, we can solve the goddamn taxes. It's going to be okay. Having someone who maybe will be a leader in a fight at some point, although I don't know, it kind of depends on my neighbors. I mean, the French look like they're really building up, don't they? But again, like see these numbers? They're training spearmen, a lot of them. They have what, 7 units of spearmen, 7 spearmen, you know, that's 700 men. You know, so that's a lot just off of that. And they are meaty troops, especially when led by a 5-star general. That's a lot to get through. So it's not nothing. Like, and what I'm trying to say is they could attack, but at the same time they are in a weird position. What's their relationship to Germany? So they are not allied with the Germans. And I guess, well, yeah, I guess that's because the Germans are allied with me, so they can't be. What? Oh man, the French are in a tough spot. Yeah, they have no allies. Freaking heck, oh my god. Yeah, that's rough. That's like karma for what happens with France, you know, beating up on everyone else in every other campaign that happens. This is it. This is the karma. But at the same time, the fact that they're like still here is a good thing, because I feel like they get you know, pounced on by the Germans pretty early on when I play as England, that is, at least in my like practice campaigns. So I'm fine with them hanging in here. You know, this is great. The fact that I'm only bordering the Germans up here in Flanders and down here in Anjou, that's an okay border. Although I would have liked it if this would have been a river battle. It's not. So they would be fighting from flatlands up against hills. So I would have the height advantage according to what this is saying. I think if I attacked into them, it would be a river battle. Yes, it would be. Yeah. And you can see the river coming through here. I really had a hard time, and I still kind of do have a hard time of noticing these rivers on this map in this game, because in Shogun, they are much more noticeable. Like, you can't miss them. And here, they're very subtle. Like, I just, yeah, I don't know. It took me a long time to kind of slow down and think, okay, look for the river. Look for the river. What about up here? Would I be getting... So, Friesland attacking into Flanders. Yeah, nothing. But what if I attacked into... It's weird, because... There's a river there, right? Yeah, you would think that would count as a river battle, attacking from Friesland into Flanders, but apparently not. And Lorraine? No, just plains. Got it. Heard. Also, so something that's interesting. Let's see if I can like show an example of this, because there's certain descriptions of vistas. So if you look in the vista right there, it says flatlands, and yeah, like flatlands and plains. Okay, this is actually perfect. I think this is what I'm trying to describe, because if you look on the map itself, you see like that's what trees look like. Okay, in case you didn't know. And this is what, you know, this is an absence of trees. If you look at all of Flanders, there's no trees there. And specifically, like when you're looking at here, like you would think, what initially is the difference between flatlands and plains? Well, like plains, typically when you think about it, don't have trees. And that's accurately, you know, portrayed by the map itself. So, you know, flatlands, plains, and if you're attacking into Lorraine, that's, you know, you're going to get the trees right there. So it's going to be flat either way. It's just, you know, we're not going to have trees in this fight, and we will have trees in this fight. So it's just really interesting for me, like when I kind of discovered that, you know, it's helpful. It kind of, you know, lets you know, this map gives you a lot of information that you might not think about initially, but even the elevation itself, like you look at these small hills and they do mean something. And where they are in the province, you will see that's not just the entire province. You know, it's parts of the province. Like these hills that are in the southern part of Aquitaine, they're not everywhere. They're just the like foothills of the Pyrenees. So attacking in the north of Aquitaine where there are no foothills, you know, they're not going to be hills, right? It's just, yeah, it's really good, you know. And then those are not hills; those are mountains, right? You can tell it really does show you. So I like all of this. Anyway, all right, moving on. Yes, mercenaries. Got to get a little bit closer to Scotland, and we don't have much money to spend, but we can at least build a fort in Brittany. Yeah, Brittany is just going to be getting all of the love right now from our treasury. Now my emissary has finished his mission that I had sent him on in the previous episode to strip Richard Despenser of his titles, his governorship of Normandy, I believe it was, and the crime that he committed, well, the crime of having less than 4 acumen. He had 3, and he thought that was enough. I thought that was enough. It was enough for a time, but I'm going to be giving that governorship to a more qualified person pretty soon here. Knighthood. The code of knighthood binds men to behave in a brave and honorable manner, defend the weak, protect the virtuous, and give and receive every courtesy to friends and foes alike. Chivalry is an ideal that is not always achieved, but its emphasis on virtue helps to spread the Catholic faith more widely. I don't know if that means anything when it comes to gameplay itself. It might just be a flavor text. If so, I'm all fine with flavor text. Although, as far as the portrait goes, is that man being skewered by a lance? I thought that it was mostly not about skewering and just about knocking people off of the horse. He looks like he's being skewered, doesn't it? Jeez, oh Pete's. Anyway, I don't know, like, Catholic faith being spread more widely, I don't know if that seems to indicate that something's happening, but your guess is as good as mine. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see, Byzantines, they want an alliance. I can't, I'm sorry guys. I might have to attack, like if you ever own one of my crusade objectives, I'm going to have to attack you, so I will not accept your offer because I intend on taking all of them. I want Antioch, even Edessa, even though it's only one freaking point. I want it. Edessa, yes. I want it. I want that 1 point. I want Edessa. I want these mercenaries to get to Scotland. Now we can give the Northumbrian governorship. I had a man picked out. Where are you? Not you. Is it you? No. There you are. Sir Richard Stafford. Yeah, 4 acumen. That's the benchmark. That's what I want. Let's get a little bit more money here. Now Northumbria is making 276. I don't know what it was making before, but... And we're making 475? Alright. Hey, I'll take it. 3 turns before this fort is finished here in Brittany. So I can continue to at least train some more urban militia to send down to Brittany. And then leaves me with not a lot of money to spend, but I wonder if I can maybe... I'm tempted. Do I have spearmakers in all of these provinces? I do, so I can train Feardmen now from all 3 provinces. Okay, good. So I'm gonna get that Feardman production going as soon as I do disband those mercenaries, but I can't do it until then. They're just the upkeep is just too high. So in the meantime, then it's gonna be tempting. Can I find an economic thing to spend my money on that's cheap? Maybe, hopefully. Before I forget, I should remember Prince Edmund. He needs a wife. He's 18. What am I thinking? Yes, Spanish princess. You're right here. There's an Italian option as well. Also a Byzantine option. And the Danish. There's a Danish. There's options all over the place, and then only one emissary, so... let's see if the Spanish will talk to us. Yes, if our faction is eliminated... and we'll see about that. Yes, I would like to get Prince Edmund a wife. Oh yeah, there's a German princess right there as well. And yeah, I doubt the French would be, okay with it, but yeah. All right, as far as spending money, yeah, I'm just going to buy another or build another inn, I suppose. Again, inns are not something that I've made a focal point in any of my previous campaigns, but I think it would be fun just to kind of like hire these mercenary armies to send them on crusade. I think that'd be really cool and like thematic and just like a jumble of different types of units that are available. Like, what do we have here? Mounted sergeants and hobblers. All right, that's kind of boring. This is way better. Italian infantry, mounted crossbows, spearmen, Arab infantry. I can send Arab infantry on crusade. That's so cool. Nubian spearmen as well. Yeah, that's awesome. Any other options? Yeah, look at this. Look at this. Oh, that'd be so fun. Byzantine cavalry, Saracen infantry, horse archers, Khwarezmian cavalry, Druzina cavalry, armored spears. Yeah, that's pretty fun. So let's get another inn here in Wessex. And I think that's going to be it for my money spent for this turn. And I did also notice, once I do find a wife for my 3rd son, Prince Edmund, then my emissary, busy man that he is, he's going to be heading up here to Wessex to strip this man of his titles as well for the same crime. Harry Langton, how dare you have less than 4 acumen? And I think I found someone... I think I found another option. No, there's no better option. I'm just going to do it because I'm hoping by the time I get back up there, I hope I find a better option. But yeah, for now, I have 0 people who have like 4 acumen that are not governors, so for now you will do, but I have my eyes on you, sir. In the meantime, though, I mean, it might take a while before I find a princess or a king that allows his princess to marry into my family, so it might be a little while. You have your station for now, sir. Do I need to move anything around other than... So you can merge you. Yes, I can. And I'm training more urban militia here. Yes, wonderful. Okay. Let's drop a save. And let's keep moving along. So the Germans have the strongest armies, and their king is here in Franconia. So a bit centralized. He's not necessarily on any front lines in any direction. And Sufism. So Abu Hamid al-Ghazali is one of Islam's greatest scholars, a jurist, philosopher, mystic, and the father of Sufism. His work rejects both Aristotle and the rationalism of much Islamic thinking, focusing instead on the religion's mystical aspects. His philosophy of Islam is deeply appealing, bringing many into the faith in Turkish provinces. Okay, cool. And the Spanish king has declined my marriage proposal, but hey, perfect. The Danes, the freaking Danes, man, they're just always, they're always game for a marriage alliance. In this case, this would be an alliance because they're the ones offering, or no? No, anytime someone else's princess marries into your family, that doesn't count as an alliance, I think. Although this does say alliance. Even if it is an alliance, I'm okay with that. I don't intend on going to war with the Danes, ever. So yeah, I'm okay with this, but I'm curious to see if this does end up as an alliance or not. I will say, I think it seems like the Danes, it seems like there are certain factions that are more open to like those types of things, like marriage alliances or, marriage proposals and whatnot. Like, I feel like the Sicilians and the Italians, like, say no a lot, and maybe it just depends on the factions that I'm playing as. But the Danes have been my bros, like, from playing Aragon. I feel like they've just always been there for me. Anytime I needed one of my princes to marry into a family, the Danes were there for me. So bless their hearts. Lord Svinford. Yes, this is the man that's going to be... No, this is a 4 acumen guy, I believe. Secret adulterer, so he's just going to be losing piety. Not a big deal, I don't think. And canceled out by believer. He's a true believer, +1 piety, so he's fine for now. He's fine for now, and he is the guy that's going to be stripped of his titles soon enough. So don't get comfortable there, Mr. Adulterer, sir. Oh, perfect. Since I can only train 1 unit at a time right now, and Sir Hubert Peckham just happens to be a 4 acumen. Gosh dang dude. So yeah, you will be the next governor of what is it? Wessex. Yes, you're in Mercia, but you're the governor of Wessex, right? Yeah, he's not. He's fine, but I need to pinch any penny that I can right now. So yes, let's strip him of his titles. And I may as well, let's see, 600 florins. Yeah, I can't do anything with that. Oh, no, I can. I can. Yes, I need this. Farmland improvements here in Flanders. This probably I should have gotten a while ago because Flanders has really great farm income. So this is going to be giving me 892, an improvement over 750. Like that's a pretty good bump. Probably should have done that before I bankrupted myself by hiring mercenaries. That's it for John Svinford. You are no longer Lord Svinford. Your titles have been stripped. And Prince Stephen has come of age. Prince Stephen, welcome. Welcome to the clan of adulthood, bud. Finished here in Wessex. And the Italian Doge has sent an emissary. Alliance with the Italians. Is there any reason why I can think of to turn them down? I don't intend on ever attacking them. Taking their territories. I don't typically see them like ever sending crusades to the Levant. Gosh, like it's funny. I come to think of it, like who have I ever seen send crusades to the Levant? Just the French and the Germans. And all of my time playing this game, it's just those two factions. I don't think I've seen the English are always just getting stomped on by the French. The Spanish never really get strong enough in Iberia, which is weird. Yeah, the Italians are never strong enough either. So but they can have like a, you know, an annoying navy to deal with, and having them not attack my boats would always be nice. So Prince Stephen, secret blackmailer, that sucks. That means he's going to be losing loyalty once it is discovered that he's a blackmailer. Natural leader, that's great. Yeah, +2 morale, +1 loyalty. Let's see where his loyalty's at. Okay, so he'll be losing like 3 loyalty once he's, you know, he's discovered that he's a blackmailer. They'll be leaving him at 5 loyalty, which is still fine. And yeah, 3 stars and natural leader. So yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it. Where do I want you? Do I want you in Normandy fighting alongside your brother, Prince Alfred? Maybe. Just so I can have an additional heavy cav unit there. Yeah, let's do that. And I think that... yeah, I think my mercenaries are ready to attack into Scotland now. So this is going to mean declaring war against the rebels, which... I don't want that war to continue. I want that war to end, because I want to be able to trade with rebel settlements later on in the campaign, because, you know, there's going to be factions being destroyed left and right. And having this like ceasefire with the rebels is good, because you can always trade it with their ports if you have, you know, those connections. So in this case, I think that let's get this fight and finish up that war, and then we will get a ceasefire by having no connections with other rebel settlements. Although we will have to, you know, attack Ireland again. But then the same thing will apply. We will get an auto ceasefire soon. So what do they have? They have 4 Highland Clansmen. That's a good light infantry. I mean, it's like shock infantry kind of unit. Pretty lightly armored, as you can tell by their portrait. Clansmen are the last tribal warriors in Western Europe, raised by chieftains from their extended families. While exceptionally brave by nature, Clansmen can also be stiff-necked and impetuous. Coming from lands where life is hard, these light infantry are usually not well armed and can rarely afford much armor. But yeah, they have good like attack stats. As you can tell, they're very strong charge, very weak defense, and excellent attack. So hopefully I can shoot them with my archers. Do I have archers? Okay, not really. I mostly just have 1 unit of archers. Okay, never mind about that. I'll just be fighting them mano-a-mano with my... My feudal men-at-arms are pretty beat up, aren't they? Shoot. More archers would be better. I mean, I guess I have 28 men left in my Faries, which is a horse archer unit. Yeah, I don't know. Because they're going to have a height advantage. I know like the numbers are obviously in my favor, but you know, these Highland Clansmen charging downhill from a mountaintop into my lines. If they break my lines, you know, this can get a little messy, but overall, I should win that fight. Now, let's go right on ahead and get Prince Stephen married by asking, let's see if the Italians want to marry into the faction. Yeah, we'll see about that. For now, though, let's go ahead and drop a save. Let's end this turn. Let's attack Scotland. Let's take it so that I can disband these gosh darn mercenaries and go about building stuff again. Yeah, that'll be nice. Making a real income. So yes, I outnumber them by a ton. 842 versus 300, but I mean, my leadership should be decent. You know, 3 stars versus their 0 stars. I'm a little worried though. If I can't get good weather, Although I don't really have much of a skirmish advantage. My 55-man archer unit and my 28-man Faris unit versus their 60-man archer unit, it's kind of a wash. Like if they have a height advantage, I'm not gonna have much of an advantage there. And most of my infantry is like based into spears, which doesn't fight well against swordsmen either. So this might be a little bit of a worse fight than I would imagine, but you know, hopefully I can just swamp them, I suppose. Welcome to Scotland, folks. As you can see, yeah, they're going to be way up there, or they're going to be way up there. Either way, it's going to be a lot of hiking. Let's see which one it is. Oh, they're neither. They're in the middle on the lowest peak. Huh. Interesting. That makes me think that maybe I can surround them and give them no place. Yeah, I don't want them to retreat and try to retreat to either of those other peaks, because I feel like they made a blunder by not taking, because that's not impassable. They can get up there. Like, they can get up to there, which is, you know, higher than that. So I'm shocked that they haven't done that. My aim here is to spread out as much as well, not as much as I can, but I just want to dissuade them from retreating from either of the taller peaks to either side. That's kind of the idea here. So let's have my Faris come up to here. And then I have my reserves, which are my beat up feudal men-at-arms, and then a full strength urban militia. They can hold the gap there. And then my cavalry corps, led by my general, the Hoplars, and then the Druzina as well. Which the Druzina might, you know, they might be able to pack a punch. They might be one of my better units here at breaking the enemy. They're not super heavy, I don't think, but they rely on their bonus versus armor though, so that's the thing. The enemy is going to be lightly armored, so maybe the Druzina will not be hitting above their weight. The challenging part of being this spread out is the realization that once they decide to head in a certain direction and to attack a certain section of my army, they will have a certain superiority in that section of the battlefield. And those Highland clansmen, one thing I do know of them is that they're fast for their, considering that they are infantry, they are fast. So they can, for instance, single out a stronger section or a weaker section of my battle line. I would say at this point it's probably my left side is probably my weakest position. And if they wanted to single that out, they could get there before my right side could assist in that. So that's why, yeah, it's a tricky thing. You don't, you know, going wide definitely feels good. You know, it feels like it's like the smart thing to do, but the enemy can punch through a line that is not supported correctly. And in this case, I'm trying to keep my center in a position where it can support my left, I suppose. Because I think that my right is okay. Now that archer unit has range on my archers down here from all the way up there, so I need to get my guys, let's get them on loose formation so that they will take less casualties, and let's start to press in from the left side here, like that and that. And let's go ahead and push in from the right side as well. If they're going to target my center, let's not let that go, you know, to waste. Let's make sure that we can take advantage of this if we can. And am I in range yet? No, I'm not. I have to keep moving up. Are they at least shooting at my archers, or are they shooting at... It's not indicating which unit's getting shot at. It's interesting. All right, so at least one of these units has detached now. So let's get my guys running so that my reserves, my Italian infantry and my regular basic spearmen, so that's going to be kind of a tough fight there. And Highland Clansmen going after these guys as well. Yeah, they move fast. All right. Old man, steady, steady. Let's get into wedge formation here and wedge formation here. And yep, let's get the Italian infantry in. And actually, let's take you out of wedge formation and just go here so that you can collapse in and get them. And you guys can back up a little bit. We're taking some shots at them. And you go in and collapse into the rear, and hopefully... It says it's even matched. My goodness. My goodness. Alright. Alright, let's get these Faris back up here. And... yeah, feudal sergeants can go like that, and like that. And javelins can go like that. And Druzina Cav can go there. And Faris can go there. So, yeah, I think I need to get a charge in there and those Highland Clansmen. So we did win over there on that side. So I'll start pushing in here and then here with my center. Or with my left flank and here. And can I get my general into their archers? And am I going to win here? It says it's evenly matched. Alright, let's send the Fearedman in just to kind of help out. And let's send Faris along with my Hobblars to take out those archers. And let's get my reserves ready to help out here against these Highland Clansmen who might be charging into my center. No, they're not. Okay. Never mind. Never mind. Let's back up then. And then you go... Let's try to get you guys sorted out. And looks like we got into the archers with our 2 units of light cav, but I don't want them to get hit by their general's unit. So let's get back here. Let's get back here. And let's get up there. All right. Let's get my generals back. I don't really care if the Faris are going to die, I suppose. I mean, I guess I care a little bit. I don't want to cause a morale break to the rest of my army. And let's go here and let's collapse in on these Highland Clansmen on this side. There, and maybe get these field sergeants up as well. Looks like we broke them, never mind. Let's get the Faris back. Yeah, they're chasing. That general's unit wants, they want that Fari. They want to get in there. So let's get feudal sergeants up here, and then here, and then here. And then there's no archers left to threaten my archers, so I can go back into close formation. And then there, we shrugged off those guys chasing our Faris so that we will not be suffering a morale break anymore. Let's get my Druzinas around to the flank so that we can charge them in the rear. And yes, they are running off on that side. Perfect. Wonderful, wonderful. And let's go ahead and get a rear charge in on those Highland Clansmen. And once they are broken, that's going to be it. So yeah, as you can see, like, they still killed a fair amount of our guys. Those Highland Clansmen fight pretty well considering how low their armor values are. You know, like, they do some damage. You can just imagine if they had a few more units. Like, it would, you know, would have been kind of stressful, honestly. Without having more units of my own feudal men-at-arms to counter their Highland Clansmen, that would have been a kind of a tougher fight. So, yeah, I lost 228. No shit, yeah. Killed 180, captured 95. Yeah, they do some damage. Luckily, I had the bodies for it. All right, Scotland is now mine. Rebels captured. So this is... I haven't talked about this yet, have I, in this campaign? All right, so this is a weird one. This is one of those weird things in this game that feel like they're... It doesn't feel like it was a finished thing. So, rebels captured. You have captured a number of rebels. Their lands have been confiscated, but now you must decide their fate. Number of men captured, 120. Didn't it just say 95? I thought it just said 90. Didn't it just say I captured 95 men? Nobles captured 2. And then Dougal, Macvolchian, and Daoud Visman. Value of confiscated lands, 647. And then I have 3 choices. Execute them all, execute the ringleaders, and release them all. Here's the thing. I don't know what any of this means. Value of confiscated lands, 647. Is that just the value of whatever buildings that they had in this province that was built up? I don't know. Maybe. Whatever. What I do know is that that number does not get added to my treasury. No matter what option I pick, that does not get added to my treasury. So I don't know what that means necessarily. I wonder if there's a variance, like if for instance this does represent the buildings that are built in this province, which I kind of forgot to look at. There's no fort though, but I forgot to look at if there's anything else that's been built up here. But so like now that I'm thinking about this, I'm wondering if these different options reflect different, like varying degrees of spoilage on the province itself regarding like how much buildings get destroyed or damaged. So that's an idea. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. You know, I don't know. What I do know is that these things, execute them all and release them all. You know, basically this is the dread option. This is the mercy option. And they both lead down different vice and virtue chains. Chains? Yeah, chains. They both start off pretty similar. Actually, I think they're exactly similar. Dread, you get like +1 dread for execute them all, I think. And then like +10 happiness for release them all. That's the same thing. You're getting 10% public, not 10%, but 10 plus 10 points boost to your loyalty. Whether you're getting 1 point of dread or whether you're getting 10 points of happiness, it means the same thing. Both of the trains kind of vary as they go down though, and they kind of get a little bit, I think they get like worse as they go along. It gets weird. It gets really weird. Like reading into these, it's confusing because you get some like ups and downs of like plus, like minus dread and plus happiness. And it's like, it all feels like it means the same thing. And then it comes out at the very end of the chain for both of them, I think, as like a net negative in happiness. But that's only if you conquer multiple rebel provinces. This is only for rebel provinces. This is not for other provinces. You've not seen this before because this is only for rebel provinces. So you have to be conquering like a lot of rebel provinces with the same general for this to matter, which is like, it never happens. Like you don't do it that much for you to go that far down either of those chains. And then if you do go too far down and you think, let's get a neutral option, I think that's what execute the ringleaders is. I think this just means nothing. You get nothing, I think. I don't think that does anything. It just means you've gone too far. Like if you don't want the negatives of the mercy trait and you don't want the negatives of the dread trait or chain, then do execute the ringleaders. But again, you would never get there because you have to conquer a lot of rebel lands with the same general. Yeah, this is a weird one. I'll do like release them all and I'll get that mercy trait, I suppose, maybe. I don't know. Byzantines are the richest and the emperor here is Constantinople. All right, good for them. Oh, the Byzantine Empire has died from an illness. How about that? Too bad for being rich, huh? His heir has taken over and improved farmland here in Flanders. Sweet. Sweet, I'll take it. Fort finished here in Brittany. And hey, the Italians has graciously accepted my proposal of a marriage. Yeah, Prince Alfred. Wait, is it you? Are you Prince Alfred? I was excited for Prince Edmund. He's the one that just got married. But no, Prince Alfred, steward, +10 happiness, plus 10% agricultural production. It's weird. That's like a governor trait. You are not a governor. It's weird that when princes get governor traits. I don't get it. But that's like again, great builder. Like why? I don't like. Is it because he's in Normandy? I'm not building anything there. Not, the last couple of turns. So he has great builder. +1 loyalty. Perfect. I'll take it. +10 happiness. It doesn't mean anything. He's not a governor. Steward, same thing. Like once, here's the thing. Like once these guys, I don't know what it takes. At some point they are no longer be in the line of succession. And then at some point they're going to be dead. And when they're dead, one of the captains is going to take over for their unit and their unit's going to retain the same stats, which is kind of a shame, but that's just the way the game was made. So you don't lose the stats of these units for the rest of the game. I will always have this until this unit gets wiped out, essentially. And what's nice about that is that eventually I can use these guys as governors, but I can't remember if that's possible. Like, can Prince Alfred, he won't be called Prince Alfred once he's no longer in the line of succession. He'll be called, I don't know, Steve Alfred or something. But can he become a governor when he's still in the family but not in the line of succession? Or does he have to die and then for his captain to take over for the unit before he can be made governor? I can't quite remember, but it's not completely useless. Is what I'm trying to say. Like, this is a good trait. There's both good traits. Steward is good. So maybe down the line, Alfred's ancestors in this unit. Yeah, 3 acumens, okay. Putting this guy in a place with good farm income, like kind of Flanders, maybe, would be good down the line. But yeah, not now. Can't do it now. Scotland, though. Scotland, all right. So what I want to do is disband all of these guys right away. I probably can get away with it. I should probably find... Man, you can get... Damn. The governorship of Scotland is +1 command? Damn, all right. You only have 2 acumens. Sorry, Sir Odo Borlong. I can't give it to you, man. I know you worked hard to, like, claim it and everything, but I can't justify that. Then again, I should be giving it to one of my commanders, like Sir Tancred. But 3 acumen. Shit, I don't want to give it to you. But I should, because making you 5 stars is good. I mean, Scotland's not going to be... It's not an economic powerhouse in any way, shape, or form, and it never is going to be. They have no trade goods, and they have shitty farm income. So, you know what? Sir Tancred de Normandy, you are going to become the governor of Scotland. There you go. And who knows? Maybe someday you will get a trait that allows you to become good at counting or something. I'm holding out hopes. And you can hang out with your brother and lead together. And let's get a watchtower here in Scotland. And I'm tempted to disband all of these guys right away, but that's going to be a little bit normal taxes. Let's do... See, Scotland has one of those, like, ingrained disloyalty, things. So, like, yeah, it's going to be tough. I want to disband those guys. I do. What am I making? 965. Okay, I disbanded like maybe half of my mercenaries, and I'm down to 110% loyalty on very low taxes. So that's good for now. Let's just train another peasant and send it to Northumbria, and that'll be good. And then I have a little bit of I got a little money to spend. How about that? So spending 100 on the peasants and 100 on the watchtowers, that leaves me with roughly 800 florins to spend. So let's see where that wants to go. Well, for exactly 800 florins, I could be building this trading post here in Flanders. And because Flanders does have 3 trading goods, that being wool and silk and grain, maybe they will be making a little bit more off of their trade than other provinces would be, so I'm going to prioritize them for getting the trading post rather than, for instance, Anjou does have silk and linen, but and maybe those are maybe there's more money in those two, those 2 goods. I don't know, but I'm going to be prioritizing the provinces that can trade overseas eventually. But yeah, there's a few places that still need that trading post built up. But we are going to be making some decent money soon. Like, once I can disband the rest of these mercenaries and start pouring more money into my economy, that's going to start to feel good. And yeah, emissary, you thought that your job was over. Well, you did a good job stripping all of those men of their titles and their jobs. Wonderful job. Very well done. But now I'm going to send you just to kind of check out the Germans and see how they're doing. Because they're not at war with anyone, are they? And they're fielding feudal sergeants as well. Like on their own. Those aren't mercenaries. They just teched up to that. And I don't have a keep yet. They have a tier 2? I don't have a tier 2. France is a tier 2. They have a tier 2 keep? They have 2 of them. Goddamn. All I got is these forts. Oh well, I'll get there. I was just taking a peek at the mercenaries that are available to me here in Flanders, and look at here, the Mugavars. This is a unit, it's mercenary only. This is the only way to attain these units is through the mercenary panel. And this is a very rare unit. I don't think have I ever seen them before? I don't know. I really wanted to get them when I was playing as the Aragonese because that's, you know, kind of where they're from. They are from the mountains of Aragon, I believe is kind of the idea there. And they are they're kind of like a famous light infantry unit. They made up the Catalan company, or at least part of that, were made up of these Mugavars, and they had a very distinct fighting style. They were basically like light infantry that could take on heavy cavalry in the right circumstances. Of course, you can say that about any light infantry. It's just about determining the right ground to fight on, and they had a pretty famous instance. So like the thing that they're kind of notorious for is that they were hired by one of the Byzantine emperors during the bad years of the Byzantine Empire, and they came into like Anatolia to kind of fight for the last remaining bits of Anatolian or Byzantine Anatolia, and they ended up like raiding the Roman subjects like as much as the Turks. Like it was really bad, and of course they were hated by the locals. So eventually, like the Byzantine Empire was like, oh shit, what have I done? And he got rid of them by assassinating their leader, Roger de Flor. And they didn't like disband. They like went on a rampage and messed some shit up, and they ended up coming down here. I don't know exactly where it was. Was it down here? Maybe perhaps. And they fought up against, it was like one of the Latin lords that had been there like since the like Latin Empire, you know, after the sack of 1204 of Constantinople. And the Catalan company like beat some heavy knights like in a big open field charge, but like they chose the marshy ground, and they had their spears and they have their javelins. You know, they fight like light infantry, but they kind of form up like they're heavy infantry. And to my mind, they kind of fill the same role here in this game. They perform both tasks in that they are spearmen, no shields, mind you, but they're spearmen who also throw javelins. So they can kind of form up in their ranks and fight like spearmen, but they can also throw javelins, which is really cool. And I've never seen them before. A missile's very good versus armor. I wonder if that's even better than javelins. Like, I wonder if that counts as them like throwing spears like, instead of javelins. Because I know in the Viking invasion campaign, there's the Bonix, which is a unit that throws like a heavy spear that has more damage than a regular javelin. So I wonder if the Mugavars have a similar spear profile for their throwing weapon. An irresistible charge as well. Interesting. Yeah, gosh, I wish... Man, I want them. I want them so bad. I really do, but 120 support costs is a bit too rich for me right now. Please don't go away. And they will, though. They will go away. That's just how the mercenaries work. As you can see, the ones that were here before are not here now. Now I can hire Bulgarian brigands, a hybrid archer unit from Bulgaria. As you can imagine, Rus spearmen. Looks pretty cool. There's square shields there. But you can also see, like, this is that Faris unit that was hired by me, because there's only 12 men left in that unit, so they kind of go back into the pool like that. And the Byzantines have taken Edessa. That's too bad. We will see if they hang on to it, though. Princess Mary has done a good job of scouting out the Levant for me, but I'm going to be sending her back home soon. She's 29. It's time for her to start looking for a husband. Although I think that options are limited back home, but yeah, the Byzantine infantry are solid. Allen Mercenary Cavalry, that's pretty cool. I think that's kind of like a light cav, like a stronger light cav, I think. Actually, I think they start with them. Even though it is a mercenary unit, I think that the Byzantines do start with them already like in the unit. They don't have like like in the faction. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they do. That's pretty neat. Okay, check this out. That's pretty cool. There's a three-way tussle here between the Turks and the Egyptians and the Byzantines. I wonder if the Turks and the Egyptians are allies. I don't know. So the Byzantines did retreat. And I want to check in on that. Oh, no. Wait, who is this? William Wolfstan. That's not Prince William. That must be the peasant unit that's in the garrison in the fort. -1 acumen, -1 command for chinless wonder, so he has an incest in his family. And that has to be what's going on. Yeah. And you're not a governor, so it doesn't really matter. That's fine. You can be an incest baby if that's what you choose to be. That's fine. And the Egyptians and the Turks are allies. Okay. Okay. I wonder if that's going to help push the Byzantines back a little bit, perhaps. And push them out of Edessa. That's what I would prefer. I would prefer to not have to go to war with, all three factions here to take my objectives. I'd prefer to just be like, for instance, like the Egyptians and the Turks, maybe. But like, I'm fine with being allies with the Orthodox Byzantines. That's fine. If I have to go to war with all three factions, though, that's gonna be kind of a shit show, I might think. Now that I have most of my not first tier, but kind of like my beginning economy buildings set up, whether it be in my mines that are built up, my tier 1 and my tier 2s, and my first tier of farm upgrades have been built up as well, and my trading posts have been built up. So with that firm base of economy buildings built up here, I'm still working on my mine complexes here in Wales and Northumbria, but those will be finished in then 2 and 3 turns respectively. But it's time for me to start working on my ports, because even though the ports aren't by themselves going to be gaining me money, I'm going to want those ports in every single province that does have trade goods, so that eventually I can make money off of those trade goods. But I also just want them everywhere, even places that don't have trade goods, just so that I can move my men wherever I need to as quickly as possible. So that's going to be my next phase of my infrastructure buildup. I already do have some ports here, like Wessex and Mercia, for instance, but it's time for me to really start spreading them out. Here in Aquitaine, Aquitaine is my furthest southern province, so being able to transport troops there instantly is going to be nice from anywhere else. And then, yeah, getting them here in Flanders as well, getting a port going. So I'm probably going to be hanging on to the rest of my money, just so that I can start pouring more money on into ports. So I can't just pump them all out and get them all done as fast as possible. I do still want to build some farm upgrades here in Mercia and Northumbria, but I will do that once these Mercia could get farm. No, I'm not going to be getting the tier 2s yet. That costs 1,000 florins. That's a bit much, but I will be getting the tier 1 farm upgrade here in Wales. But I do want the tier 2 in Flanders. Flanders has my best farm land that I have. So getting that tier 2 in Flanders is going to be good. In fact, what would that be giving me? 1,038. What's my farm income? That's not telling me that is. Flanders farm income is 892. So yeah, 1,038. That's a good boost. That's a good boost. I will do that as soon as I can afford that. 1,000 florin spend. Now the King of France has died from an illness. His heir has taken over though, and I'm curious to see. Ooh, the Egyptian Sultan has also died from an illness as well. Alright. Ooh, an heir matures, Prince Henry. And it looks like you are a 4-star General Prince Henry. All right, cool. The fort has been finished here in Scotland. Inn has been finished here in Brittany. And Prince Henry, what do you got? Hard Sims, +1 acumen, okay. And Killer Instinct, so +2 valor, +1 dread. You know what? I'll take it. And you are a 4-star, and you have decent loyalty, dread, piety. Man, I have a good family. I have a pretty gosh darn family. In fact, my next in line is probably my worst guy. But Prince William, like, he has the Gentle Knight. This is that 3rd trait in that line of traits. +3 morale, -3 dread. +3 morale is pretty gosh darn good. I'm not going to be complaining too much about that. And although the French armies on my borders are looking kind of beefy, I'll admit I'm feeling like I'm a little bit spread out. You know, I have what I would consider to be decent army. I mean, not decent. It's something, you know. 3 archers, 3 hobblers, 3 urban militia is kind of my base army right now. Getting more fearedmen though is going to be important. I have my 1 fearedman that I trained up. Bring them down here. And maybe I should start to focus more on fear. I don't want that upkeep right now. That's the thing. My economy is still kind of recovering. I feel like I have to make up some ground from those handful of turns that where I wasn't able to really build much thanks to having my mercenaries. So I feel like I'm kind of making up ground here by not training anything else and then pouring all of my money back into my economy to try to get back on my feet in that regard. Of course, the flip side of that is that I don't want to fall behind militarily. Up to this point, the French units are not tier... Ooh, they do have... Okay, I was just going to say, this is their first tier 2 unit that I've seen them field so far. Militia Sergeants. A unit that I took for granted for a long time. Because it has the word militia in the title, so I thought, oh, they ain't shit. They're shit. No, they're not. That doesn't work when I say it like that. They're good. Militia sergeants are better than you would think. Basically, their armor values are like decent, and they have a bonus versus armor, and they fight decently well. They're the upgraded version of the urban militia. And so you'd think it's just like, it's just a urban militia are trash. No, they're urban militia sergeants are like a good upgrade. They're solid. So I've underestimated them plenty of times before I finally decided let's stop underestimating them. Other than those 2 units, though, I feel like they don't have... I'm just not too threatened by them. And if the French were to try anything against me, I would bet that the Germans would just come pouring on in and they would crush the French. That would be my bet. They're holding down Champagne with the ballista crew. Yeah, good for them. What about their new king? What are you all about? 4 influence, yeah, not super great. Not super great, but probably not bad enough for them to have any issues with loyalty in their generals or their captains or anything like that. So they probably will be fine. And I feel good having gotten this chance to go through a few turns here, building up my economical buildings, and it's going to continue in this vein for a while because I want to get my ports going. Then after my ports, the next phase is to get my keeps into all of my provinces, prioritizing my seaborne provinces, my provinces that border the oceans, and getting the keeps going there, because then I can build the 2nd tier port. I don't know if it's called, it might be a different building chain, honestly, but it's the boat builder that, guess what, allows me to build boats. So yeah, that's like going to be like the next step here. I don't even know if I will be able to build boats in the next episode, but I'm going to be working towards it, because then once that happens, then my economy is really going to be opening up. And not just my economy, but this campaign opens up as well. Having boats in regions that border other provinces allows me to see those provinces. And I feel like I have more visibility over the rest of the map, which always feels good. It feels good knowing what's going on in other places. And obviously having the freedom of movement as well across my own empire due to having ports and navies. All of that is something that I'm looking forward to, but it takes a bit of legwork to kind of focus on the important part before I can have fun with the actual campaign. But you know what? That is all going to have to wait until next time. As always, I hope you have enjoyed this one, and thank you very much for watching. This has been Constip playing Medieval Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.